Olá a todos. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sofia. I'm so excited to have you back. And today I bring a topic more related with grammar and the language itself. But you know how passionate I am about the culture. I'm really glad that you have been watching my videos and leaving your comments. And again, don't forget, your support means a lot, and I really appreciate when you guys drop your ideas, your feedbacks, or even curiosity. Leave your opinion, your feedback in the comment box of this video or any other video that you have been really enjoying. So without further ado, I will go into today's topic. I have been wanting to speak about this for a while because I get asked so often in the classes, and this is a topic of punctuation in Portuguese language. So let's start with the basics, and something I really want to talk about today is commas. Commas are those ones that are very peculiar, and I find it also nuanced because in some other languages you use commas in ways that I don't find in Portuguese language we'll be using the same way. They are used to separate items in a list. For example, comprei maçãs, peras e outras frutas. I bought apples, pear, and other fruits. You need to remember that we don't use the so-called Oxford comma. This means we are not using comma before E. The next one is after introductory words or expressions, such as bem, não sei o que dizer. Well, I don't know what to say. Pois é verdade que tens razão. Right. It's true that you are right. And to separate clauses. Se chover, ficamos em casa. If it rains, we stay at home. These are type of sentences that you very often will find with the use of indicativo and conjuntivo. In conjunctive is a very common dynamic in which we have the first section of the sentence, the first clause, using one of these special expressions that we use in conjuntivo, and then the second sentence, the second part, section, clause of the sentence using indicativo. Check this video. I just explained about conjuntivo. It's a whole different world. What is conjuntivo? What to know about? I will not bring that topic into this video, but I leave you here a couple of videos that I really recommend you to watch, even if you are not quite there yet, but you just want to have an understanding what is conjuntivo. Now I want to talk about the common mistakes with commas. First, using comma between subject and verb. For example, o João foi ao mercado. O João foi ao mercado. We will not use a comma after John, João, because this is the subject of our main sentence. So the whole sentence is one sentence without any comma in between. The next one is a comma before E, meaning a comma before and when we are making sentences. This is one of the most mistakes I see people doing because, again, in other languages, in other formats, you will use it, but not in Portuguese from Portugal. Saying this, a sentence like comprei maçãs, peras, bananas e uvas. Comprei maçãs, vírgula, peras, vírgula, bananas, vírgula, e uvas. Forgetting the comma in conditional sentences. These are the common sentences that we'll be using expressions like if, maybe, perhaps. These are conditional sentences. Se chover, ficamos em casa. If it rains, we stay at home. Overusing commas in short sentences. Simple sentences like eu gosto de ler livros interessantes. I like to read interesting books. There is no comma here. Next, mixing Portuguese style with English style. This is one that kind of weaves with some of the things I just mentioned before, but it's a quite common one. So in English, you often use commas between and before words like which or that, but not always need a comma there. So in Portuguese, this can be wrong. O livro, vírgula, que comprei ontem é interessante. Correct sentence will be o livro que comprei ontem é muito interessante. So here, que comprei ontem is essential, but it does not need commas. In Portuguese, we usually use a fewer commas. Now I want to take this part of the video to talk about other punctuations highlights. First of all, like I just mentioned before, I really find that actually commas are the ones who bring more problems and traps for new learners, but nevertheless, it's good to take a look into the other punctuation. First, ponto final. This is that little dot at the end of the sentence. It's exactly like in English. We use it at the end of the sentence. Dois pontos, these two dots, we use to introduce explanations or lists. Ponto e vírgula. This is like a comma with a dot on top. We call it ponto e vírgula. It's a bit more formal and we use it to separate complex ideas in the same sentence. It's more a punctuation that we use often in academical theses or articles, but nevertheless important to know. Then we have ponto de interrogação, the question mark, and ponto de exclamação, the exclamation point. Same as in English, but we only use one, never two or three of the same punctuation in a row, especially in formal writing. The next one is travessão, that little strike, often used in Portuguese instead of quotation marks to show dialogues. So remember that in Portuguese, commas follow very specific and clear rules. Let's do a quick recap of how we use commas. We use commas to separate items in a list. Use commas after introductory words or expressions and to separate clauses. We do not use commas between subject and verb. We don't use commas before the word and, e. We do not use commas as much as you use in English. So if you are not sure, use it less. Unless you are really sure that grammatically it demands the comma in the sentence. For today, this is all. Don't forget, leave in the comment box below what did you know, what struggles you find with punctuation in Portuguese language, and any question or suggestion you have for the next videos. I'm here to help. It was a pleasure and I really thank you for staying and sticking with me until the end. Much appreciation. Thank you so much. And I see you soon. Até já!